Are you ready to take the ride on the salsa de mala?
I'm ready to slither in.
You want to slither?
A silly little snake.
Yeah. Run that intro, baby. Welcome, everybody. You like the way I'm figuring
I
it
do,
out?
yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to another wonderful episode of Wrong Sauce. Today, we have an extra special guest, close friend of mine that we have today. Welcome, Bisexual Megan, otherwise known as the Bisexual.
The Bisexual.
The Bisexual.
I like how it was Bisexuale for a long time, and it's just like become aggressively shorter. To now, it's just gonna be called B.
So somebody
Welcome to the B.
B-Town.
B-Town.
Somebody on live was actually like, I was like, oh, Bisexual Megan is coming. And they were like, no, say it how you've always said it. And I was like, whoever you are, and you have been watching for a long time, obviously, you know that I say bisexuale.
Bisexuale.
Yeah. Is that how you intro yourself?
Bisexuale.
That's how Tallulah does it.
Bisexual.
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 And bisexual.
Welcome, Bisexual Megan. So let's talk about it. Let's get into the B-sex. Let's be one with the B-sex. Let's go into it. How did you know that the calling was upon you?
I have so many instances. Like, I have so much, like, concrete evidence that I did not look at for so long because, one, I just, like, wasn't paying attention. I was really obsessed, like, in an unhealthy manner with Hannah Montana.
Okay, how old?
Like, 9 or 10 or something like that.
Okay.
She was and is the it girl to this day.
Yes.
Hannah or Miley?
I don't know.
Miley.
I, like, now I look back and I think I realized that I was just, like, in love with her. And, like, to the point where I was just utterly obsessed and in love.
But it wasn't just like, oh, I love my best friend.
No. Like, I wanted to, like...
You didn't know if you wanted to be her
or like, be in her. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I always had, like, I mean, I did the same thing with, like, you have Barbies, like, you scissor them.
So did you make two Barbies,
Of course.
female Barbies,
Yeah.
go on a hard scissor kick?
Yeah, like, touch the boobies together, that kind of thing. Yeah.
You went on a boob touch spree.
boob touch. Yeah, I was just like, this is what I do alone.
So you put your fantasies into your Barbies.
Yeah, I just kind of put
Instead
them
of
away.
reality. Yeah.
Because I don't think I understood them.
And so wait, at this moment, right, you're like, do you have a conscious brain of like, oh, maybe I like everybody?
At that age, I didn't even know it was, like, not okay. Or, like, I mean, during that time, it wasn't okay to be, like, into women.
Totally.
Right? And so, like,
different time, yeah.
I didn't think anything of it either. Because I didn't know.
Queer just became cool.
Yeah,
let's just call a spade a spade.
No,
we're finally in, and blessed be the fruit. But
we made it. You guys,
we made it.
We did it, Joe. We did it.
But it wasn't always so.
No. And then there was, like, I had a friend. Who I remember,
everyone's always got a friend. Yeah.
I had a friend. We were, like, I think 12 or, like, 13. I'm not sure.
Sounds about right.
But she, like, told me that she thinks she's gay.
Oh.
But she said it very close to me. And, like, it was like, you know, when you, like, tell somebody, like, you tell, like, your best friend or something like that, and you're confused and you think that, like, you like them because, like, you just, like, found this out about yourself.
Totally.
So that was a vibe that was, like, happening. I was like, she's in love with me.
Yeah, of course.
And I remember, like, that was, like, activation of, like, my homophobic ass. And, like, I was like, oh no. And I remember going in and telling my mom because I didn't know. I, like, was so, like, just so weirded out by it. And I was, like, hiding all these, like, my own emotions. I mean, the truth is, like, I wouldn't have liked her. She was not my type. Unfortunately. Like, she wasn't.
To be clear.
She would have never made the cut regardless. Because if you have a type, right, what would you say your type is?
Physically, I love looking at like slutty hot women. So
Yeah.
like really like femmy, like slutty hot girls. Like that's
Yeah.
always just like the most exciting thing. It's great.
Listen, I get it.
I'm totally into this. I like redheads.
Oh.
I love redheads. I love me a redhead. They're always great. There's nothing. They're like crazy.
You know, I do find redheads to be slightly more unhinged.
No, okay. Hold on. They're unhinged, but they're also really smart.
Yes.
And so they
Which
know.
is, all, by the way, a deadly combination. If you ever find a
It's so
smart
great.
unhinged, I dare say run. I dare say run, because they can ruin your life in a lesbian terrorist manner that nobody can.
Yeah. Dude, they're I don't know, they're just like freaks.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
So when was your first experience? Because
No, Tibby, this kept happening. No. This is a trend that kept happening. And so
it was an aggressive trend, you could
it was
say.
an aggressive trend that kept happening to me where I would like have friends of mine.
That would fall madly in love with you. I wonder why.
And I was just like, I don't really know what to do. Or like I'd have a friend that like
You're just so
obviously
good looking that everyone just
No,
falls
I was-
so in
okay.
love with me. And
No, I was a freak kid. This didn't happen till adulthood. But
okay, so what you see, let's just be clear, what you guys all see right now, this magical being of sensuality was not always this way.
no, I had like no hair. And not like the hot way.
What we called a bald bisexual.
A bald bisexual.
Which could be hot.
I mean, this was not hot. Like, that's just the truth. And and this had happened, or I'd have a friend who's like obviously gay and they're like totally gay now. And like they like do like weird touchy things. It would jolt me inside. Like it would like
There was an electrical pulse.
yes. But I found that like nerve-wracking at the time. That
Okay.
like freaked me out.
Well, of course. Pre-lick, what I call, so there's something,
pre-lick.
there's something that I like to call pre-lick and post-lick. So pre-lick is before you've had your first lick, your first lesbian lick, queer lick, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Post-lick,
Different.
obviously same thing, but after. And there are different sensations, I feel like, in the community that come pre or post-lick.
100%.
Correct.
100%.
So right now what we're talking about is pre-lick
But I'm
behavior.
young, so there's no lick gonna happen.
Yeah,
Like
it's pre-lick.
I'm really young and I didn't know anything. And so I'm having all these experiences. But then I'm also like having like these crushes on like the skater boy. It's always a skater boy. You're not, if a bisexual, what they go for is like lesbian looking men.
I see.
But like all I knew in my brain as a kid, and I think most people think the same way, is like having like a mom and a dad. So I'm going to be with a husband and I'm gonna have kids, and
Fall
like
in
that's how
line. Yeah.
that's how it's gonna go. And so, and I watched movies and it's always the guy and the girl, and like the girl's a damsel in distress, and like this like hunk of a man comes and like saves her. And I remember being like, okay, so like that's gonna happen.
This skater boy is just gonna skate on up.
Skate on up
and
like,
save me.
But no one liked me, mind you that. Like I was just like unattractive and like no one.
Listen, I get it.
And
I was an unattractive too.
yes,
I like don't believe you guys. I just don't. It's like
I have
it's hard for
photos.
me.
I can pull them up.
And likewise.
I wish I came with photos. I was also in musicals.
I
Like I
love-
just like was a weird kid.
It's where a lot of bisexuals hang out, I feel like, in the theater.
I was in the theater.
Yeah.
I played like t-ball.
Well, that's more lesbian, but
I played
yeah.
soccer.
Okay.
That's like a bisexual hideaway. Literally. It's where
Literally.
the bisexuals go to hide. The lesbians know to play softball and volleyball. And then like not ready yet lesbians do water polo. That's how it is.
That is.
But anyway, so like I'm having these experiences and like I have this visual in my head and like being told like this is kind of like what you do. And then I get to like high school, and for me, like I feel like that's like when people start like finding that stuff out about themselves and like start opening up. And like for me, I grew up in a household where like sex wasn't talked about and it was very shameful. It was never like okay. It was always like this is like it was like as bad as doing drugs. And for me, I was also on drugs. So instead of like exploring those parts of yourself, I was just like getting high.
I found this more so with guys, and maybe you can shed a light on the female perspective, but like a lot of my man friends who were super closeted and had issues coming to terms with their sexuality, even if it was like bisexuality or homosexuality or whatever it is that they were dealing with, just queer lifestyle. A lot of them I saw turn to drugs because they couldn't handle their internalized homophobia. And so the shame and the guilt led them into this other lifestyle so that they could just numb out and not deal with whatever emotions they were having towards it.
I mean, for me, like, I know, like, I'm sober now, I'm in AA and all those things, right? And like, for me, like, with the hardest
Mazel
thing, mazel, the hardest thing for me and what I struggled with the most, and even in like sobriety, that has been a challenge, is like the dealing with shame. And so I look back now, and there's so many like little shame pieces.
So this was one of your shame elements.
It was
that
in
kind
the box.
Yeah, it was in the box.
It was just in the box. And like, it was like, okay, like on my free time, I can watch like lesbian porn because it's better. And like, I can like make Sims and like have like lesbian lovers.
We love to talk about The Sims, by the way. We love a Sims convo. Because Tallulah just created, by the way, Joel, and you need to be updated on this because Joel doesn't keep track of any of our social media. But Tallulah created a Sims of us. A family Sims that she is tracking currently. And by the way, just an update, we're in a relationship.
Yeah, something happened. You guys started getting a little sexual, and I'm just kind of in the house.
That always happens.
That always happens.
I mean, she was taking a pee in front of me like 5 minutes ago.
No, just to be clear, I just took my pants off while Joel was talking to me before we started shooting this podcast. And as he was talking to me, I urinated right in front of him.
It's good for you.
It is good for you. It's exposure therapy, Joel.
It's fun.
This is friendship.
Yes.
But what's really going on in that Sims world?
You guys are literally like teetering on, like it's getting
we haven't
close.
done it yet.
Not yet.
Oh my God, you might get pregnant.
I would love that. I told Tallulah, I said, I love this. Please make Joel somebody and make me a crack whore.
Yeah.
Like do something that's interesting.
Yeah. It's my favorite thing. I download these freak mods and then I like go in and like I have like a drug addict, one died of cancer, like all these things. I need more. I have like a prostitute. It's like working for me. I own a strip club.
Yes.
It's great. No, I love
Naturally.
it. Naturally. But with The Sims, I would
we
like
are
have
pro stripper on this pod.
We
and
absolutely
pro 100%.
pro slut.
Pro
Slut.
pro.
Pro cunt.
Okay, so in high school, did you make out with a girl? Did you finally fulfill your fantasy? Lip us up.
Lip up.
So I would make out with girls all the time. Like when I was in middle school, I was like always making out with chicks. Like that's just like what I was doing. Like
But for dudes, gays, because this is something that like the lesbians talk about, just to be clear. They're like, oh, some bisexuals just claim bisexual because all they want to do is just make out with girls for the joy of their boyfriend.
No. Oh my God, that angers me.
I'm just giving you the perspective.
Never give the man what he wants.
Yeah.
Like what the that's also partly like why I struggled coming out as bisexual, because I don't want a man being like, oh, does this mean we can have a threesome now?
Yeah,
like
ew.
that just ruins a relationship and just like it pisses me off.
You tell them
Granted, I was
bisexual,
in the
Megan.
wrong relationships, and that's why I would not want to tell them.
Yeah.
But like that that angers me inside. Oh, I will fight a man. Okay, anyway, so I would go and I would make out with these chicks. We would have like sleepovers and we'd all be like making out naked.
Several people. Several people or just one-on-one makeouts?
No, like there was like
It was a makeout like
They're
circle. So like
switching.
dudes have
circle. It was like kind of that, but for girls.
Why didn't I get to experience this? Where are you doing these things? It sounds amazing.
Not at our school, Tippy.
No, not at our school.
Honestly, I thought everyone did this.
No.
Yeah, so I'd be making out with chicks, and so like I knew that, but like I didn't really think too much into it. And if I did, I think I just like I blocked it out. I would just like
It was
put
just
it
a
away.
Tuesday.
Just a Saturday night, have my friends sleep over, making out with two sisters, all good.
Grab a breast.
Yeah, flick a nipple.
Flick a nip. Just casual girl fun. This is what girls
Pillow
do.
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would do that. And then high school came. I had like my first love. I was with unfortunately a man, and I would just like, and we broke up, and then I was like exploring and just like slutting as one does, and
Slut away.
And I ended up in all these orgs. And
Yeah, I want to hear.
Fun time.
that's like just kind of what like naturally happened.
So you had phases.
Of course. You can't live your life without having a phase.
Never live a life
No.
without a phase.
Pro tip.
Pro tip.
Mhm. You need it. You need to know, one, what you like. You need to explore.
Yeah.
You need to just be a little bit more open in your lives. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
Really flaps out. Live what I like to call flaps out.
flaps out.
Yeah.
Let it breathe. Take a breath
That's
from down
right.
under. And it was fun. I had a lot of fun. But in that time, there was just women and men. And it was the first time that I felt like very comfortable. And I thought that was interesting. You know, you're having sex with a guy for the first time. You're so fucking anxious for some goddamn reason. And when there was other women, I felt like the most fucking confident I've ever felt. Like, I just felt there was no, what am I doing? Like, this is a girl. Like, there was none of that. All that shit went out the window, and it did not matter. It was like the one time that I felt like very free. And so I kind of stayed on that for a long time. This went on for a while.
It was an era.
It was an era. Like the era would go, it would stop, it would come again. And so I remember during this time,
We'll call it Whoring Era 1.
There's many.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to call this Whoring Era 1.
This is the original whoring era.
Okay, so
is
this
like-
is Whoring Era 1.
Yeah, but throughout the years, there had been like women that I slept with. Of course, the more orgies, the more horror phases, and I remember thinking to myself, like, well, I'm like half gay, right? And I remember I was driving on the 134. I fucking remember this so vividly. Driving on 134, it was a beautiful sunset. And looking over LA, it was a clear day. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I had to tell myself in my brain, I was like, you may never get the white picket fence with the job that you want, the husband, the kids, all these things. It might be with a woman. It might be adopting children. It might be having to spend a gang of money to have like your own kid.
Sure.
It could be all these things, but like this idea that you have that this is how it's supposed to be, that has been just given to you as a little girl from like day one, needs to go. And I remember thinking that, and I was so free. I felt so free from that thought process of like, what I wanted, who I am. Like, I finally was like, just remove all of it and be okay with what I am and who I'm becoming and what I have. And like that allowed me to like be able to explore and be myself more. And like that, I don't know if that was like, that kind of just like removed like 75% of like this like homophobia that I had towards
we'll
myself.
call it the bisexual reckoning.
Yeah, the bisexual reckoning. And like it was like, for me, it was like really being okay that like you can end up with a woman. I had to allow myself. It was really weird. I had to like tell myself in my head, you can end up with a woman and that's okay.
At what age did this hit you?
This hit me at 23.
Looking back throughout your life, what do you think your percentage is, right? So like everyone is on a spectrum.
Yeah.
How much, what are your percentages?
I think for me, like sexuality is such a fucking spectrum that fluctuates consistently through my life. Like even when I'm with a man, even when I'm with a woman, it
So at
literally
23
does not matter.
At 23 at your bisexual reckoning, where were you at?
At that point, I was like interested in dating a woman.
You lean stronger towards the labia.
No, and there's been times throughout, even after this, that I've been leaning towards that, and then I'll be leaning towards this. It just like fluctuates. Sometimes like I don't want to have sex with anybody at all. I don't want anyone to touch me. I don't want to see a man or a woman in that way. Or there's some times where I'm like, which one do I choose? Like, I don't know. Like, Lou, this is a really weird question, but do you ever feel like, okay, for me, I go through phases where I'm like,
I'm ready.
dude, I can't wait to get eaten out. And then there's phases where I'm like, dude, I can't wait to get dicked down.
Yeah, dude.
Like, it's a phase and it happens. And like, that's kind of like the same way I am with men and women.
You're either in the mood or you're not.
Yeah, I'm not in the mood for that, but I'm in the mood for that,
Yeah.
but not in that. Like, there's those phases I go through.
It's just whatever is calling you that moment.
Yeah, and I
it
feel
can
like-
swing from one side to the next,
Like a pendulum.
Yeah.
like a pendulum,
A sexual
like a diculum.
dingulum.
I said diculum,
I thought you said dingulum.
but that works too. A labiathum.
Labia.
labia them.
Yeah.
Labia swings.
I feel like it's hard though, because I feel like for me, like we were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, sometimes, because I heard Chapel Ronan talk about this.
Chapel. We're still waiting.
Shout out
Rowan.
Chapel.
I said Rowan. I keep saying
No,
that.
but that's
Rowan.
fine.
She was talking on that girl Drew's podcast, and she was talking about how she's like, sometimes I feel like I'm not gay enough. And I think that happens to a lot of people. They think that they're like not gay enough or like not to be accepted enough.
Yeah.
And I remember, dude, there was a hot minute where bisexuals was not cool. That was not the thing to come out and say.
I mean, listen, it's still.
And it still kind of is. It's not even there yet, because lesbians are very, very hard on a bisexual because we sleep with men. And that's why. There's degrees for sure.
Sure.
But a lot of lesbians do. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. Are men haters.
Yeah.
Like no penis. Like I can't even like look at somebody that has a penis. None of that. And so it's like, it's hard. And then that becomes another challenge that you go through, or you go through a challenge where you're like, oh, you're bisexual. And then people are like, have you been in a relationship with a woman? And when you say no, it's immediate judgment. It's not even like, let me try this. It's immediate judgment. So then not only are you trying to put yourself out there and try to like get into the circle, you're immediately being judged for who you are.
It's like trying to get a job without any experience. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. But let me just say that as a, bisexual friendly myself, and I've mated with a lot of
Yeah, you have.
bisexuals.
We know.
I personally don't carry this judgment, but I know a lot of friends, just to be really transparent, a lot of lesbians do carry this sentiment. That's true.
But I get it. I understand.
There's a reason. There's a reason for it.
No, there is. And unfortunately, this is just
because
the truth, and I will speak it freely,
Totally.
is that every bisexual has mental health issues. And they don't just have depression. They unfortunately carry bipolar or BPD. And they have that shit. Or they're like autistic, which we love. We love.
We really do.
Those are your gems. Like those are the gems.
Those are your gems.
But
it's riddled.
it's riddled. But I'm sorry, I will say, so do lesbians.
The queer community is riddled with mental health.
Because there's so much trauma. So much trauma that's involved in that, which is so sad.
It is sad,
and it's horrible. It's just from fuck people.
Okay, so let me ask this.
Yeah.
What do you say to the people that say you're not bi because you haven't slept with a woman
Dated too.
or dated?
I mean, if someone is, for me, I'm like, if you're telling somebody that's a lot of energy to be fucking telling someone that. Like, mind your own goddamn business, first and foremost. And two, it's like, well, why are you telling somebody that they're not what they say that they are? Let them, like, give them space to, like, explore that. And if they never do, they never do. And if they're claiming that they're bisexual and never fucked a woman, ever made out with a woman, then I feel that, I mean, it's like, you gotta fuck around and find out. I really truly believe that. If you don't know, go figure it out. Like, absolutely dip your toes in, go fuck a woman. Just do it. You have to figure it out for yourself. But I think you can like making out with people and it not be sexual. But if like you make out with somebody and then like you like are gotta change your underwear, I think that's a sign that maybe like
Could be a sign.
It's a sign. It's
you have
something.
to go like to the
There's
bathroom.
activity.
There's activity.
Yeah. I think that's what everyone should do. Go make out with the opposite sex and see what happens.
See if you're activated.
Just do it.
Yeah, dip a toe.
You're going to love it. I understand that. Maybe you're like 40 years old and like you're just making out with girls and like that's probably terrifying. I can't even imagine what that's like. And you want to sleep with girls and like you're so late to the game, like a White Lotus. And such a great season. And I could see why that's like nerve-wracking. But I think for me, it's like, would you fuck a chick and do you want to fuck a chick?
Yeah. Are you ready to lick?
100%.
But then there are bisexuals, right, that have sex with these individuals that call themselves stone tops, right, which are the people that don't want you to lick them up. And so I guess there are those types of bisexuals.
Stone tops. Wait, no, I've never heard of this.
So a stone top is a lesbian who's more like butch-like or stud-like, and they don't want to be touched. Also called touch-me-nots. So there are lesbians.
Okay, I know touch-me-nots.
that do not want to be touched, and I feel like a bisexual who wants to be with a woman but isn't necessarily ready for a lick would probably find safe harbor
Nice.
in such
They're safe harbors.
there's safe harbors for everybody. Just find your people.
Find your people.
Dude, when I was looking for my people, bro, the shit that would come my way was literally the worst thing ever for the longest time.
Yeah.
I had, which I despise with a burning passion, the Hey Mamas. I had Hey Mamas coming after me, and their game is the most like turn off I've ever had in my life.
Speak on the Hey Mamas.
I was questioning if I was even like bisexual at that point because I don't like that. It's just like the grossest ego. I rather deal with an ego from a man than ever deal with that. Like it is just like, it's creepy. It gives me like predatory behavior.
Give an example of what a Hey Mama's pickup line would be to you.
First and foremost, their breath smells like vodka. To start. Just start. And like cheap vodka.
Okay.
Cheap vodka.
No.
They talk like they're, in my experience, they've always been like so short.
Yeah.
I feel like they're overcompensating. I think that something's happening there. And I just thought of somebody in my head that we know.
We'll bleep
Pete
the name.
Davidson.
The lesbian Pete Davidson? There's okay, so here's the thing. I used to take Megan out. Megan was in a horror era. We'll call it horror era 2 or 3? 4. 5?
4.
Okay, so horror era 4. I took Megan out in horror era 4. And I said, Megan, we are going out to the lesbian scene and you are going to les the fuck out.
Okay.
So we would go, we would sensually dance together. And I'm telling you, because lesbians don't dance. By the way, you need to get your shit going because lesbians don't dance.
Yeah,
Why?
It's bad. It's get your shit right.
yeah. They just stand there with drinks in their hand.
Looking too cool.
Eyeing the femmes.
Eyeing.
Literally, they're like, yeah.
And so there was this lesbian at one of the clubs that was dying to get a piece of Megan. We called her the lesbian Pete Davidson.
Okay.
Because she looked like Pete Davidson, but lesbian version.
Very hot.
Honestly, not
sorry.
bad looking.
Not bad looking, but
Personality was not it.
You didn't like the vibe.
the vibe was so bad and it was so like
Like, you're going to come to me.
no. They like followed us from a show to a bar.
Oh my God.
Followed.
Yeah.
You had fans.
Red hot for Megan.
And I got like cornered. At first, it was
got
like
cornered. Oh
it
my
was
God.
kind of attractive at first. I was like, all right, cool. And then the more I just like observed, they
Okay.
were just like too
Persistent, aggressive.
TikTok,
Okay.
like those, like the high lesbians on TikTok, like some of them, the Hey Mamas.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We know all about that.
At first, I was like, I remember like my whole entire For You page is typically lesbians, and some of it's great. Even some of like the cringy stuff, I'm like, I still like it. I'm like, this is good stuff.
Les out, dude.
Good content. But when that personality is brought in front of you, that it was like, I wish they weren't real. They weren't like, I need like a real person who like will talk about stuff and not in like, oh my God, this hot girl's just talking. Yeah, it was quite a wild experience. But I remember I went out with you and like I'm just like excited to go out, excited to enjoy my night, as one is. And in the middle of it, there's like all of this drama happening.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
And then,
So I think that's like what's also intimidating about the lesbian community was the drama. And not just like, and I'm not talking about the relationship drama. That's its own fucking brand. I'm talking about the friendships, the drama in the friendships. And it's like, and it's a lot. And like that sometimes can be intense.
you don't think that exists in like straight culture as well?
Lesbian drama is every day. Lesbian drama never stops. But
That's true.
for the straight culture, it's like people say less to your face. I guess I think that's
Okay.
what it is. Less to your face, more behind your back. And then
More
you hear,
Midwest about
yeah.
it.
Midwest.
And either people are like hella, like, they'll get into it with you. But
Well, that's what I feel like
No,
that's
Midwest is great. And it was perfect.
is where they say it behind your back, right? And because they think it's more polite.
Oop.
yeah. Backhanded compliments.
Sure.
Yeah. It's more like that. But like there was like a time where we were like FaceTiming every day, and there was always something fucking new. And it wasn't.
There
with,
is
it wasn't
there
with
is,
you. It was
yeah.
just like the drama that was
I
happening.
mean, usually surrounding relationship drama, though.
Oh, no,
Let's
it
be
is.
clear.
It is.
Let's be
Yeah.
clear. When you put two women together, you're going to get emotions.
Yeah.
High level, intense emotions.
It's intense shit, man.
It's intense. It's very passionate, and
Yeah.
it can end in disaster and
feels
terrorism.
Like it's ending, how intense it is sometimes I'm like, yo, is someone dying? Like, it's really intense.
If it's a new gay, it feels like their entire family was murdered and they're being tied to a tree.
Yes.
And then somebody is like.
It's like the sinister. Sinister is happening to them.
Literally.
Like, that is what's happening.
They will recover. They don't know that. But
no. Hold on. It's not just the news. Because I've seen this happen even with like some of the olds. Like,
it does strike you sometimes later in life as well.
It just like comes in and just.
Yeah.
You know? So there's that drama and it can be intimidating and I'm afraid.
No, it's true.
I was like, wow, there's a lot happening right here. Who's following who on Instagram? Who DM'd who? And why is this horrible? It was really intense.
I mean, listen, it's not just men out there doing crimes. There is what I like to call lesbian crimes being committed out in the world. There's lesbian criminals and lesbian crimes, and they will fuck your girlfriend.
They will
fuck your girlfriend, and they will not feel bad about it.
And then they're like also like adjacent to your group where they're like there. They're like there, they hang out.
And the problem with these lesbian criminals is that, they're in the background. So when you go out, the perpetrator is the perp is in the corner, and
They're
watching
you.
Yeah, and they're watching you, and so now there's tension between you and the perp, and like, you know, or maybe the perp has committed crimes on your friend, so now there's like that tension, and you want to like, you know, just like, you know, rush them like you would, like if a coyote is like attacking your dog. But you can't. You have to be civilized. Mm-hmm. Politics.
I wouldn't last a day.
No, you would never.
No one plays by the rules that are given to you. They all play their own game. And that's what's happening. They'll look you dead in the eyes and be like, I will always follow this. I would never
fight for you.
I will fight for you. I'm always on your side. The moment that you're like, okay, and you guys are like hug and whatever, and you turn around, they're literally burning it.
No, they'll set your house on fire.
Yes.
Yeah, and they will slash your like I've seen atrocities.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I've seen many.
How about this? I was dating somebody, and they were like secretly in love with their best friend, and they were like, I would never have sex with them. Never. Now, they didn't have sex with them while we were together. We broke up.
Well, yeah.
And then we broke up, and then they ended up not only having sex with their best friend, but they ended up marrying them.
No, okay. So that's the rule of thumb. Hold on, Tippy. That's the rule of thumb. If you were with somebody and they're making a big deal about who they're not sleeping with or not going to sleep with, you best believe they're absolutely going to fuck them once this is done.
Or
they
it's
have
already happened.
told themselves and clocked it. Girls are crazy. I get it. Revengeful. So like that's how women think.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's Mount Vesuvius.
It's a tricky game.
It's tricky.
Tread lightly. You know what I mean? Tread carefully. Carefully.
Okay, so this actually leads us into a wonderful game that we want to play with you.
Oh my God. I love games.
I know you do. This is why. So
It's perfect for a lesbian podcast. Games.
We do like the games.
we are going 1 through 7.
Oh my God. You have photos.
These are lesbian icons.
Okay. Let's go.
And you are going to rate these
1 through 7?
1 through 7. And you can't see what's coming next.
Okay.
You rate 1 through 7.
Are they going to see it?
We hope so. We'll tag you all. Okay?
Okay.
So your first queer is 070 Shake.
This looks like Lily Rose Depp's girlfriend.
Yes, it's Lily Rose Depp's new
Okay.
girlfriend.
Yes.
1 through 7. Megan?
4.
We're going 4.
4. Strong choice.
Next we have Cara Delevingne. Lesbian.
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 Lesbian supermodel.
Yeah.
I'd like 3.
Okay, so we're
3.
going 3.
If I was to reverse this, I would switch it.
You can't.
I know.
That's not how this
I would
game goes.
switch it.
That's not how this game.
I'm just afraid I'm going to get stuck with some freaks.
I don't know.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have Fletcher, musical sensation Fletcher.
Here.
Okay, you're putting Fletcher at 5.
She's like girly. Very, very girly.
Okay. So we have Haley Kiyoko.
I really am enjoying watching the timestamps of this. 4:37. Here.
So you're putting Haley Kiyoko at 6? Okay. Next we have true So lesbian icon, Kristen Stewart.
I won.
Number
I was
one.
waiting for that one.
Okay.
I was sitting here waiting
Okay,
for Kristen
so put
Stewart.
Kristen Stewart at 1. Okay.
The obvious choice.
The obvious choice. So we still have what slots left?
2 and 7.
Okay. This is the lesbian soccer star, Ashlyn Harris.
That's great too.
So Ashlyn Harris at 2.
That's great.
Okay, Ashlyn Harris.
I'm gonna be so sad when I see this next one,
Okay.
or maybe not.
Now we have 7 left, right? Your only slot is 7.
I know this is gonna be sad, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So your
So
last
good.
and number 7 is Kaylani.
I want to rearrange some things, but we'll have to put 7.
So lesbian icon, Kaylani.
I know.
But you got number 1 right?
That's true.
Number
So
1
you're
is
happy
correct.
with your number 1
I
case
could
too.
literally get rid of all of these. I don't even need to see that.
Nobody
You know what I mean?
matters besides Kristen
I'm
Stewart.
obsessed with. You know how many times
Kristen?
I've seen Twilight so many times for one reason. It's not for the men.
It's for Kristen Stewart.
It's like the same thing with Keira Knightley. You know, you don't watch Pirates. I mean, Pirates is a great bisexual movie. Holy shit.
Hand me Kristen.
There's so much going on there. You got Keira Knightley. You got Johnny Depp.
Megan's love. Megan's love.
Kristen, listen up, baby.
So did you see the new Kristen Stewart movie?
I have not. I have not seen it.
I feel like you and I should have an evening. We should watch this lesbian movie. I've heard it's amazing.
You can
I
do
have not seen it as well. Tallulah,
No, and I love movies.
It's great. They all look great.
the lesbian outfit.
It's the outfit for me. I like the tattoos, the fucking drip.
You love a chain?
We all love a chain.
I love the outfit. The outfit, the hair.
What's the outfit?
It's like
Tell us.
slacks or Dickies. Like that's what it is.
You
And
want 'em
it's
in
like
Dickies.
It's a belt, and then you have like either like a tank or like some you have some situations going on up here.
With a chain.
You have a chain, a
Rings.
necklace, rings. So you have like some weird shit going on in your ears. There's a lot going on with the hair. A lot, always. There's so much.
Talk about lesbian hair.
lesbian hair masks. I think do their hair longer than any like femme would. I swear to God, they put so much effort into their
Hair
hair
care.
because I think the hair is where it lands, to be honest. And sometimes they just shave their heads, and even that is just incredible.
Yeah.
That's
care, Tippy.
incredible.
Hair care is very
Hair care
important.
Lotion.
That's like
Yeah, so I told Tallulah, and this is actually something, Tallulah said I was a freak show, and this is just full transparency. I called Tallulah the other day, and I said, Tallulah, I've got a confession to tell you. And she said, what is it? And I said, I've been doing this new thing with my hair. I've been putting lotion in my hair.
okay, yeah.
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 Okay, so this is
No, no, I know this.
Oh, okay.
Dude.
Yo, you know how people get that slick back look? Like
That's what I'm saying. If you lotion your hair-
oh, that shit's so hot.
Lotion is a pro tip that I don't
no,
think
it's
a lot of
killing your
people.
hair. It will be killing your
Yeah,
hair.
I need to hear about this from the fans.
It
and the
will
family.
be killing your hair.
Why?
but-
Why does it kill your
Because
hair?
most lotions have alcohol in it.
It's lotion.
Listen,
lotion.
I'm Latina,
It's
so I have a lot of
lotion.
hair.
This is not to shame you.
If you're gonna use lotion in your hair, you have to make sure that you use a clarifying shampoo.
Not to shame you. Just worried. Just worried.
Listen, it works really well.
I've used lotion in my hair when like time's called.
When the time is called for, but
Lotion, it does really well.
Yeah.
And it feels really smooth. It's almost like a new Olaplex. And it really conditions your hair.
Because I mean you bleach, so it's probably
I need somebody in the comments to let us know.
I mean, I know I'm a natural blonde, but like it is hungry for moisture. And when I put the
I just have to say, I'm so happy
Can we
you
talk
went
about
back
it?
to blonde.
I did have a phase where I did my natural hair, and Bisexual Megan called me and said, enough
told
is
you.
enough. Like,
You need to.
talk about it.
I was just like, you were down bad. Let's start there. Tibby was down bad. And like,
I
your
had just
hair
had a
been-
breakup.
Okay.
No, but your hair had been that way through the relationship. And I knew, and I tell everyone this, and I'm kind of like the instigator in this. Anytime someone goes through a breakup, I'm like, dye your hair blonde. Because you also have an attitude. And I swear to God, the moment Tippy went blonde, whoosh, out all night, like getting bitches. It was like a whole thing. And that is what I'm talking about. Like
I had to find my inner demon again.
you had to breathe. And I get it. There's sometimes, you know, when you're like in a relationship or like you're in a rut and your hair looks shitty, you're not doing things. So it's the hair that always goes first. It doesn't look right anymore. Something's wrong. You're not upkeeping it. And And then you realize, oh my God, no. And at the same time, you're always like gaining like rapid weight. And your face is really oily too for some reason. I don't know what is going on.
It comes in threes.
It comes in threes. It's a trifecta. And then you have your, what is it? Princess Diaries.
Your glow
moment.
up, yeah.
And it works and slaps every time. And I'm obsessed with it. I love when people do that.
Me too.
I think it's important. It needs to be happening every 6 months of your life.
Yeah.
And
Because when I met you, I was blonde.
yes.
So I met Megan.
Oh, I love
Just
this.
to preface.
I love
because
this.
I was mating biblically
Okay.
with her roommate. That's how I met Megan.
Yes. So the first night that I meet Tippy, I think was the same night as the lesbian kumbaya was happening.
Okay,
And
and let's just be clear. I know there's a lot of what we call singer-songwriter lesbians that like to pick up a guitar.
this was different. this was something else I've never experienced yet have again. Tippy comes in, her majestic self, and it's an incredible meet and greet situation in the hallway that was very small.
Yeah, except I walk in and there's a singer-songwriter moment where a lesbian
I
is
didn't
playing a
even know.
guitar with all these girls sitting around semicircle.
Dude, and you come in and I'll never forget this. We're like chit-chatting. You're like, I don't know what's going on here, but there's a lesbian singing with the guitar in your living room, and that's the gayest shit I've ever seen. I was like, that is the gayest thing. She's like, you said something like, we're about to go have sex, and that's gayer than what we're doing. I was like, that is.
I really poured my lesbian juices into your home.
Yeah, it was needed.
It was a bonding moment.
Yeah.
Did it inspire you at all? Were you like, oh man, like I gotta get back into the labia?
Yo, actually, hold on. We can get into that. I was like, I don't know, I was more irritable because I was moody. I was in a terrible relationship. And this is right when TikTok was popping off and like becoming a thing during COVID, of course. And
You
all
found
of
your
a sudden,
algorithm.
dude, no, the algorithm found me. And my algorithm filled, like at the end of that relationship, was just filled to the point where it's just, hey mamas. Like that's how gnarly it was.
That's
how,
when you know you're deep in lesbianism.
it was so bad, and I was just like, I don't want to have sex with a man. I really want to have sex with a woman. Like I don't want this anymore. Begging to fuck a hey mama in that moment, like anything. And I remember that honestly was like the grace of God that I was like, I'm so like just in my gay vibe, and I need to get the fuck out of this. There was other things for sure, but I remember being so excited, and then unfortunately ended on literally the doorstep of a man, and that was cool. But then I made my way.
You did. And again, back to whore era 4, you had really like, I was feeding Megan.
I love that.
I had a lot, no, but during that time I had a lot of like really femme girls come after me, which was interesting.
This is a trend right now, is femme-on-femme. It's like a thing.
The most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I was like, me?
It was like moth to a flame. I would bring Megan out to a lesbian establishment and it would be just like, who is this girl? Because not only have they never seen her in their life, she's new blood.
Yeah.
She also, I don't know if you see, is wildly attractive.
Yeah.
And she was in a whore era. So this is the trifecta
like, oh,
of a
fuck.
perfect era. And
Era 4.
Horror 4 was an epic era.
Yeah.
You were washing, how about this? Megan fucked and was washing bangs.
I wash bangs too.
She got cum in her bangs and called me as she was washing them in a sink to go then fuck a lesbian.
I love it.
And was like, I have to wash my bangs because I have to go see this lesbian. And I was like, wash up, dude.
It was like a hunger that I've never experienced in my life. It was your hunger I experienced. And
I infested her with my hunger.
Yeah, dude. It was like Tippy level hunger. And I was on very little sleep. So I washed my bangs in the sink and then I blow dried them. And then I was on my way.
Right. And then she ended up having sex with the lesbian.
I was wearing like a wild outfit that I've been wearing for, a day or more. And I remember I was like, I need clothes. Can you give me something? And I went home. I still have this jacket. I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. I was
You
like,
took
all
the
right.
lesbian jacket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I had as one does.
Yeah.
And I like to collect things. It's kind of serial killer of me.
Yeah, mementos.
I have like boxers and like underwear and like jackets and things that I've collected through the years.
Keepsake.
Yeah,
Keepsakes. Yeah.
I specifically like stealing the boxers though. That I find like fun and a challenge. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I'm like, I gotta get a pair of boxers before I leave.
Did you, in this lesbian situation, what's the strap politics? Let's talk strap politics.
Strap politics?
Yeah. So when you go in and you're mating with a hardcore full les, let's say,
Yeah.
who wears the strap? Are you ever like, I want to wear the strap?
I wore the strap.
You wore the strap
wore the
in this
strap.
mating
In
experience.
this mating experience.
Was this first strap experience?
This was first strap experience.
okay,
I've
wait,
never-
we gotta get into
hold on,
this.
hold on. I've never worn a strap. Look at me. Do I look like I wear a strap? I don't. And so I ended up wearing the strap. I was like, that's
But how
it.
did that come out? Was she like, hey, I want you to strap me?
No. I honestly, listen, man.
You're like, I just woke up and I was wearing the strap.
That's how it felt. I was just like, I was just like, okay. And it feels so disconnected from you where you want it to like be a part of you so you understand what's going on, but it's not.
No, for
And
me,
you're
it's all connected. For
But
me, I
I
feel
was-
it is one.
I was
Wow.
very not, and there's like a vibrator attached to it, and like in my opinion, the vibrator like wasn't that great.
No, I don't like the vibrating one where it has the bullet inside with the strap. That's a mid-level les strap, what you're dealing with.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
it's not good.
Like
It's not pro
let's put it this
level.
way, that vibrator isn't gonna like
It's not doing
take
anything.
you there.
No, you might as well
No.
put a vibe, an actual wand.
yeah, 100%.
Because that
That would have been great.
yeah. There's pro, there's mid, there's lower tier. I mean, I don't know who you were. Yeah, we won't talk about it, but yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad I did that. I'm so glad that I went and I like did that because I was like, now I know.
Sure, but it's not very pro les to, look at less experienced bisexual and be like,
Put it on.
now you put the strap. Yeah, it's like,
what are you doing?
That's a crazy idea. You have to really, it's like throwing,
To the wolves.
yeah, literally. It's like putting a 2-year-old and shoving them into the water and being like, now swim. And
Now
you're like,
it's like,
you're like, what?
Now do a butterfly stroke.
Why would you do that? You
Yeah.
have to, if you're going to be a shaman and you're elected to be a shaman, be the best shaman you can be.
Strap guide. Be a better
Be a,
strap guide.
be a better strap guy. Dude, that was wild.
Yeah.
I wish I had the experience where I got shamaned. That would have been great. That's honestly what I was looking for. I was like, yo,
Some
let's
guidance.
go.
No, this
Like,
girl
let's go.
just threw you into the
But
deep
I
end.
just got like fucking dunked and like I feel like I got baptized without wanting to be baptized. And like I just was like, okay, but this is what we're doing. And I was like, all right, honestly, I'm so down for the plot. My life,
guess.
my whole night has been so fucking crazy. It hasn't ended. And so I don't care what we're doing.
were up for so
I was like,
long.
let's just do it. And so it just kind of ended like that.
But be responsible. I just want to talk to these lesbians.
Yeah, you
honestly,
you
like don't
have
do
to.
that shit. Be responsible when you're dealing with somebody new. And I don't know if you lied and said that you hadn't done the strap before or whatever, but you can tell really.
No, I said, I was like, never done this.
Okay, so if you're
Never
dealing
done
with somebody who's very vocal about the fact that they haven't done that, do not throw them in the deep end like a small child that cannot fend for themselves. Talk them through it. Be more responsible with your strap politics. Tallulah, tell them.
Be a strap shaman. Be a responsible strap shaman.
Yeah, it was quite a wild experience. Yeah. Quite the experience for me.
All right, well, let's end on strap politics. Thank you so much, Bisexual Megan, for coming onto the program.
Of course.
Say goodbye to your fans that you're going to have.
That's just it.
Yeah, that's it.
Avita saying.